Last night, the Toronto Raptors lose a heartbreaker. Even after playing a decent game against the Boston Celtics, they still fall down 2-0 in the series. But what were the defining moments of that game and what caused the ultimate outcome? Let's get into it. Welcome to Amateur Hour Sports, everybody. This video comes after a heartbreaking loss in Game 2 against the Boston Celtics. Like I said, the Raptors did have a much better game than Game 1, but still, they lose by 3 points and they fall into a big hole in that series against the Celtics. And this game, in my opinion, boils down to three things. And first of all, that is the refs. The officiating of this game was not good. It was abysmal from basically start to finish. The Raptors were up against it. Not only did they have to beat the Celtics in this game, they also had to beat the refs because the refs simply were not good enough for NBA standards. Secondly, the Raptors significantly falter in the fourth quarter. They had their shooting struggles all game, but they only hit 1-3 in the fourth quarter, and you're not going to win an NBA game in 2020 by doing that. The third thing is that Boston came alive and had a fantastic fourth quarter. Marcus Smart got possessed by something and hit 5 straight threes to start off the fourth quarter. And when the Raptors only reply with one throughout the entire 12 minutes of that quarter, yeah, it is going to be easy for Boston to catch up. So Boston worked for it for that comeback in the fourth quarter and really show up in the clutch. The Raptors do not, and that is ultimately what cost them in the game. Now, I know the title of this video talks a lot about how the refs were not good, and they weren't good, but give credit to the Boston Celtics in the fourth quarter for taking over the game and putting themselves in the position to win. The Raptors are struggling to find the one guy who's going to push them over the edge in the series. In the first round, it seemed like Fred VanVleet was going to be that guy, but second round, the big players are not stepping up. Like Pascal Siakam is not stepping up. In the playoffs, you need your best player to step up in big moments and take over games. And Pascal Siakam is not doing that. The Celtics are doing a fantastic job of defending the interior and making the Raptors really work for their points in the paint and close to the cup. And when the Raptors don't want to really work for those points and getting to the rim, they dish it out to the perimeter where they are not shooting the ball well. In Game 1, they shot 25% from 3. In Game 2, they shot 27.5% from 3. The Boston Celtics almost shot 40% yesterday from 3, and they shot 44% from 3 in Game 1. How can you keep up with a team when they're scoring that much better from the three-point line? The Celtics are relying on guys like Jason Tatum in the big moments to get them the buckets they need, and he's doing it. He had another good game yesterday, Jason Tatum, but he gets to the line 14 times. 14 free throws by himself. The Raptors had 19 free throws in the entire game. The Raptors did not have a single free throw in the first half. How can you go through a half of NBA basketball where you're keeping up with a team? It was a 2-point difference, 48-50 after the first quarter, and not a single free throw. I think that is an absolutely ludicrous thing to even talk about. The fact that the refs were not giving the Raptors any calls and were just handing out free throws to the Boston Celtics throughout the first half, making it that much harder for us. But even still, with all that adversity, the Raptors get to the last possession still with a chance, but they don't take a timeout with 4 seconds left on the clock, down by 3. You push the ball the entire court and huck up a long 3. Why would you not call a timeout? Why would you not set up a final play? I get that, not calling a timeout could have set up something, but the timeout has a much better opportunity to do so, and they didn't take that. But back to the refs a little bit. Awful all game. I mean, you had the free throw issues in the first half. Like, I don't really do overlays in videos, but I simply have to for this. Look at this. Here you have Jaylen Brown. Here you have the ref. The ref has a direct sight at Jaylen Brown and has a great view and is very close to Jaylen Brown. This is the ball in Jaylen Brown's hand. This is Jaylen Brown's foot clearly stepping out of bounds. This fast break resulted in a basket for the Boston Celtics. How on earth could you not see that? And then later in the game, Fred VanVleet is on an open lane for an easy layup. Marcus Smart throws himself into the side of Pascal Siakam, and the refs call an offensive foul. Now, again, the refs, well, they reviewed it because of a coach's challenge. We get the bucket. However, we lose our coach's challenge so needlessly for something we didn't need to. That was such an easy call. You didn't need to lose it there, which was big because later in the game, Marc Gasol fouls out because Jason Tatum drives in, runs in, and barges into Marc Gasol, who didn't even move while Jason Tatum was passing the ball. He wasn't even trying to shoot. Not only was it called a foul, it was a bad call for a foul because Marc Gasol wasn't even doing anything. It was a shooting foul when Jason Tatum wasn't even going up for a shot. So Marc Gasol fouls out. Jason Tatum gets 2 free throws, and he was perfect from the line even after shooting 14 free throws. And we lose one of our best defensive players on the court. So the refs make it an uphill battle, and even though the Raptors kept up with the Celtics, they could not beat the refs. And even after going into the fourth quarter up by 8, Marcus Smart, I really don't understand what's going on with this guy on offense. I can't believe he hit 5 straight threes. I mean, he had 4 heat checks there, and all of them went down. He almost hit another one. He almost went 6 in a row, but it rimmed out. I really don't understand how that happened, but the big players, they make the big plays. In this scenario, Marcus Smart is the big player who made that big play. The Raptors did not have the guy to make the big plays. OG Anunoby had a great game, but in the clutch wasn't a guy who was a big factor involved. He didn't have a 3 in the fourth quarter, even though he was shooting well throughout the entire game. Fred VanVleet did not step up in the big moments. Pascal Siakam is still not stepping up in the big moments. I'm pretty sick of defending Pascal Siakam for the performances I'm seeing. This guy is supposed to be the best player on the team, and he is not showing out like that is the case. So I'm not just saying that the refs ruined the game. That's why the Raptors lost. Obviously, there's a lot of things that they did not do right, and there's a lot of things that the Celtics did do right that caused them to win this game. But the refs were certainly a factor, and surely anybody watching that game could understand that. But credit to the Celtics for that win, a gutty win for them going up 2-0. But what does this mean for the rest of the series? Is it over now? I said it wasn't over after game 1. How about after game 2? I don't think necessarily that the series is over. It will be very difficult for the Raptors to do it at this point. I mean, last year in the conference final, the Milwaukee Bucks went up 2-0 against the Toronto Raptors, and the Raptors won 4 straight. And the Raptors are doing a lot of good things on defense. They just need to clean it up on offense. And if that offense comes alive, it's going to be a lot more difficult for the Boston Celtics. If the refs are not giving them no free throws in the first half, maybe they can do it, but it's going to be so hard to go 4-1 against this Boston Celtics team. The way they're playing, the amount of weapons they are showing on offense. Even if Kemba Walker has a bad night, he showed out in the fourth quarter. But even though he had a bad night, there's other guys stepping up in his place because there's just so much star power on that Boston Celtics team. The series is not over, but it is very unlikely at this point that the Toronto Raptors will be able to come back and win this series. But it's not impossible. Raptors, if they go out and win Game 3, all of a sudden they're 1 game back, go out and win Game 4. But it starts with Game 3. You can't even think about winning the series at this point. All you can do is go out and win the next game. And if you do that, then you worry about Game 4. But it all happens in Game 3. When you look further and lose sight of what's right in front of you, you can start to falter. And the bottom line is, if the Raptors don't have one of their big guys show up in this game, like Pascal Siakam and Fred VanVleet, their fate will probably be the same, because a bunch of guys just having kind of a meh game isn't going to get it done in this round of the playoffs. And that's what the Raptors have been doing in this series so far in these 2 games. Nobody's having that excellent takeover game. Everybody's just having decent games. And that's fine when you have that much depth, but you need 1 or 2 players to really start taking over proceedings. That is unfortunately not what we're getting. I think the Raptors win Game 3. I just cannot see them going down 3-0 to Boston. I think the Raptors win Game 3, and we'll see what happens from there. At this point, it looks like the Boston Celtics are going to win the series, but I don't count out the Raptors completely. The Raptors still have the chance to come back and win this series. They're on a huge uphill battle, but it is not impossible. They've come through adversity to get to this position. They went through adversity to win the whole damn thing last year. Not over by any means, but a lot of work needs to be done in preparation for Game 3. So what do you think needs to be done in Game 3 for the Toronto Raptors to get the job done and win that game and make it 2-1? And do the Raptors have any chance of coming back in this series, or is it now? Now is it a done deal? Personally, I don't think so, but what do you guys think? What needs to be done for the Raptors to progress to the Eastern Conference Finals? But thank you so much for watching. Please like the video if you like and subscribe to Amateur Hour Sports for more content just like this as well. Hit the notification bell because we post 4 times a week on the channel: Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. Thank you so much for the influx of subscribers coming in recently. We just hit 400 subscribers. Thank you so much if you have just subscribed to the channel or you have been subscribed and you have been rocking with me for a long period of time. I really appreciate every single person who has hit that subscribe button. But at the end of the day, I believe what I say, and if you disagree, that is okay. We will see you again next time.